It's Friday! Oh, well. But at least it's Friday. Okay, yeah, word's already gone around. Yeah, like I said yesterday, don't get your hopes up about something just because it appears something's going on. And the word is that Paul McGann has pulled out of Galley 1 filming, I think, on Luther. So, no, it has nothing to do with Doctor Who. It hasn't. Folks, Paul McGann should have been the war doctor. And like I said, no disrespect to Sir John Hurt. Amazing actor. But I think it would have went a lot more smoothly if they just gone that route instead of crowbarring in another doctor. But Moffat wanted a big name on his bill to sell tickets. That's the only thing I can figure out. Because I only want to know how much, I wonder how much they paid her to appear. Does anyone have the answer to that one? Find out. Let me know in the comment box. Um, but the thing is, everybody seems to forget. Oh, by the way, I believe that it is Paul McGann's birthday today, the 14th, if memory serves. So happy birthday to Paul McGann. Um, but like I said, as much as we'd love him to have another thing and all, I don't see it happening unless it's in a clip or a way caught or, as I said a million times before, the centenary special, Power of the Doctor, is what we should have gotten on the 50th anniversary. Yet everybody still thumbs their nose at Chibnall. But, it's like, guys, compared to what RTD did, Chibnall's like, you know, if you were talking about batters, you know, in the major league, like baseball, which I really don't watch sports, but Chibnall at least was hitting the ball out of the park every now and then. RTD, not as often. Um, and I'm not saying his whole tenure was horrible, but the finales were terrible. But like I said, we're not going to get back into that. So no, Paul McGann is going to be doing something for Luther. That's why he is not going to be available. Now, as to why he'd be seen at Bad Wolf Studios, everybody seems to forget Paul McGann's been in a lot of things other than Doctor Who. If you don't believe me, go look up his, filmography. Hell, I remember when he appeared as Stanley Bone in Ripper Street. I even had the clip up, which, by the way, I got copyright struck for, even though it was what fair use is supposed to be. I think he's 66. Please look that up, though, because I'm going off the brain noggin what I read. I believe he's like 66, but like I said, he's still, we talked to him last year at Chicago TARDIS. I got my photo with him and all that. And as I told him, whatever you're doing, you better bottle it and sell it because he still looks incredibly young. I can't scroll. I'm stuck with this stream, I guess. Yes, you are. That's right, Kayla Animations. You are now forever trapped on the planet Baldus, where there are no other intelligent life forms. Just these funny little surface features and the occasional weird, is that a tree sticking up? Wait, is that a critter? No, okay, and it's not so bad. Trust me, compared to some of the streams I've seen out there, where they're either plainly reading off scripts or it's just completely AI generated now. I believe Paul McGann, Dick Van Dyke turns 100 pretty soon, don't he? In December, isn't it? Please look that up. I know Dick Van Dyke's turning 100 soon. Well, Chris Lloyd, he's been around forever. I would love to have met him, at least once. Heck, I remember him back all the way in the day when he was Reverend Jim on Taxi. Okay, it's just... But at least I resolved my bookmark memory issue on my browser. It turns out when the browser did its last update, for some reason it changed a file extension or something like that. It took me like a minute to fix it. We are not, all right, sadly, Ultimate TV, no, we're not going to Chicago TARDIS this year. You may have missed the announcement on that. It's just, it's not because of any financial or health scare. It's just there's way too much weird shit going on, especially in a lot of the areas we got to drive through to get there. Okay, I don't want to get stuck in a riot on the way out to, Illinois. Or, just because everybody's having a bad day or some shit. And it's like, so sadly, we won't be going. I really wish I could have made it this year, but like I said, it's just, I don't know. There's something, when my gut tells me not to do something, in the past, when I've ignored it, it came out badly. And this year, my gut is saying, do not go to Chicago TARDIS. As much as I'd love to have gone, because I got a lot of great guests going this year. But like I said, it's just not in the cards. They did have a con here in Columbus, and it's even closer. I think Billy Piper and all that's going to be there, but it's like still, I'm a bit paranoid about travel right now. Yeah. Plus the fact that, our weather has gotten really weird this year. We've already been hit by snow, and it's just, something told me, no, don't go this year. Trust me, that little voice in my head, if I'd listened to it a lot more often. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's why I'm not going. There's a lot of weird shit going on right now this year, and I would love to be there, but unless they invent a teleporter, I won't be there. Just like you're never going to see my face at Galley 1 unless they invent the teleporter. Okay. I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man. She is to remain. Oh my gosh. Are you reciting the Bible? Now, folks, don't get me wrong. If you believe in, Christ, whatever you believe in, I'm not going to besmirch you, but please don't quote a book to me where most of it was copied off. Let me see. Let's. A lot of it's right out of the Sumerian book of creation, which is also out of the Epic of Gilgamesh. A lot of it's been stolen from Egyptian, prayer practices. I'm not kidding. But like I said, I'm not going to besmirch you or hate on you. I'm just saying what I have found out in my half a century on the planet. One of my favorite ones, Amen. Everyone seems to think this means all men or something like. No, it doesn't. It was at the end of every Egyptian prayer on just about every wall in every temple. Amen came from Amun, which came from Amun-Ra. The god of all gods of the Egyptian pantheons. Amun-Ra. And they would say at the end of the prayer in praise of Amun-Ra. So like I said, I'm not going to besmirch you. Also, there was a guy called Utnapishtim, if I remember the name correctly, who was told by the gods because they were wiping out the world, and he needed to build an ark and collect the seed of every animal on the planet. Not two of every animal, the seed of every animal. And that was written 3,000 years before the Bible. Ugh. So like I said, I'm not going to besmirch you. I'd like to believe, there are things out there in the universe that are bigger than us that we cannot comprehend or understand, but what are the slightest chance that one of our simian brains could even comprehend the thought or even process or, organizational process of a being that is so far beyond us? That's the way I think about it, But I will not besmirch anybody if that's, what they, believe in to get through the day. If you'd rather believe in something bigger than you, more power to you. People need to have faith in something. I just don't. I've seen this same stuff going on and on for, you're talking about a book that's been edited, re-edited, translated, retranslated. Then you got to think of the Council, I think of Carthage, the Council of Nicaea. And then where they, a bunch of guys got together and said, well, we don't like that part. Throw it out. Meanwhile, you had how many books and epics that got thrown out? But if you want to have faith in a higher being, like I said, I'm not going to say you're an imbecile or anything like that. Sometimes we need something to believe in to get through the day. Because I like to sit here and think, oh my God, like this morning, I nearly hit a skunk. Well, the skunk was way dead. But still, I'm like, oh my God, I think I hit it. My tires get a smell. And then I thought, right now, there are people who are more worried about having a roof over their head, where their next meal is going to come from. And, how are we going to survive the cold of the winter? There's a lot bigger worries out there in the world than whether my tire is going to stink like a dead skunk or not. Just like the other day, I was like, oh my God, my bookmarks in my memory section aren't working on my browser. And I'm like, why am I worried about something so mediocre when there's people out there in the world who don't even know if they're going to live to see tomorrow because of either the circumstances they're in or whatnot. And we tend to forget things like that. But one of my favorite sayings, and I think Robin Williams stole it from somebody else, every person you meet in this world is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And that's the way you got to start thinking about it. Everybody has problems. Everybody has things that may not matter to you but would matter to them greatly. It's just a weird world we live in. Sadly, we tend to make ourselves the star of our own show. And if things don't go our way, oh my God, guess what? It ain't going to be the studio audience that decides whether you get canceled or not. Okay? It's... Judge Dredd? No, wait. I like to believe that, reincarnation is real. I don't think we just end. Because I've tried sitting there going, okay, what happens when you end? Does it all just go dark? And how would you know? Because especially when you talk about things like past life regressions and things like that, people having memories of places they've never been, makes you wonder if something more is going on out there. So, but okay, no, Paul McGann is not coming back to do a Christmas special. We got too deep. This is what happens when you land on the planet Baldus and engage in ritual ceremonies there. And okay, I got too deep there. Okay, screening November 27th in Cardiff. Okay, well, that's good. I'm going to watch it, but I really don't even know if I want to. Because now they're saying, yep, those are the Sea Devils now. And I'm like, given what he's done to other past villains, I really hate to see what RTD is going to do to the Sea Devils. He's not exactly batting 1,000 there. Now, did you just assume God's gender? No, that's all right. I'm not even getting into that issue. Okay. Like I said, and so, according to what he called one guy, his dog was telling him to go out and kill people. Son of Sam. Not a happy story, but oh well. We're approaching the end mark here, so once again, Paul McGann rumor, it's not happening. Everything's saying he's going in a couple months to film for Luther. That's why he's not going to be available for Galley 1. And why he would be at Bad Wolf, who knows? Maybe they're filming another thing, clip or whatever for one of the Blu-rays, or maybe he's a guest on one of the things for one of the Blu-rays. That could be anything. So no, like I said, that's why I didn't want to get my hopes up to begin with, because we are in a period right now where we're trying to grasp onto anything to keep us going, because let's face it, the show's over until they can find someone to fund it, someone to run it, and we can only have faith in the fact that the song never ends. Oh, well, I got to get going because it's that time. So please be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Remember, it is Friday. Enjoy your weekends. And as I said, believe what you want to believe. Worship who you want to worship. That is your right. Whatever gets you through the day, more power to you. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.